Assalamu alaikum students. I am Dr. Nazish Mazhar Ali and today our topic of discussion is light or solar energy. If we define light in biological terms, it is the form of electromagnetic radiations with the wavelength which can be seen by the human eye. As you can see in this diagram, the labeling is light energy, which can be seen by us. This is actually the form of energy which is emitted by the sun. That is why the light energy is also known as sun energy or solar energy. We can say that it is the form of energy associated with light. This light travels in waves and has some electrical and magnetic powers. For example, the visible light, the ultraviolet light, the lights which are emitted from the microwaves, and the infrared radiations. If we define light in terms of physics, it is actually the energy packets. Those are known as photons. The photons are emitted in the forms of waves, and each wave is with the specific frequency or wavelength. In the diagram given below, you can see the energy wave which is having a peak that is known as crest and a down curve which is known as trough. From one crest to another crest, from one trough to another trough is actually the wavelength of the light wave. The main source of the light energy or solar energy is the sun. Apart from the sun, the light energy can be reflected in an electrical bulb or we can see it in a fire. The fire, because of any reason, it is emitting the light which can be detected by the human eye. Similarly, the light of an electrical bulb is easily detected by the human eye. The basic properties of the light are speed, reflection, and color. The light has maximum speed, that is, it is too speedy to be captured by anything else. The light reflects back whenever it touches any object. And as we all know that light is made up of many colored waves, so when we pass the light, that is the sunlight, through prism, it is it is scattered into different colors. In this slide, students, you can see that when the light passes through prism, it is divided into different beautifully colored waves like orange, pink, green, light green, blue, pinkish colors, etc. This diagram shows the different colored waves with different wavelengths. These are categorized in majorly two types, that is the visible lights and the invisible lights or radiations. We can see clearly that from 380 nanometer to 500 nanometer is the range of the blue light, and then above 500 till 700 nanometer is the visible range of other lights. In invisible rays range, we can see the UV light, which actually ranges from 100 to 380 nanometer. So the wavelengths which are above the 380 nanometer wavelength can be detected by the eye. Now talking about the importance of light. Well, students, it is a very important question that why light is important for us. We say that the light is the sign of life, or we say that life cannot exist without light. Why? What do you think? Well, the light emitted by the sun brings life on earth because it keeps the temperature of our earth maintained. Also, not only the flora but the fauna is majorly affected by the sunlight. That is, the producers or the plants and the consumers, which include the animals subcategorized into herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, and let us just not forget about the detrivores. So all of the organisms are being controlled by the light. If we talk about the producers or the plants, there are two important mechanisms or phenomena which are very important even for us, not only for the plants but the animals too. These are photosynthesis and photoperiodism. We all know about both of these terms because one is the process which actually enables the plants to produce the food in the form of glucose. On the other hand, the photoperiodism is a mechanism or phenomenon in which the flowering of the plants is controlled by the duration of the sunlight. So both phenomena have their importance in the plants, and ultimately these plants are consumed by the animals. So being animals, being the member of kingdom animalia, we are directly or indirectly relying on the light, that is the sunlight. If we talk about the direct impact of the light or light energy on the life of the animals, including the human beings, so the most important thing is that we cannot see anything without light. When it gets dark, you can't see anything. So that is why we say that all our work that has to be done in the light time, that is in the daytime, because in the night time our eyes cannot detect any light, so we cannot do any work. Now, question arises here that why light is helping us to see things, because we have already studied about the property that is the reflection. When light touches any object, it reflects back, so it illuminates it, and that is being captured by the retina of our eye. Also, that if the light is not there, either natural or artificial, there would be no life on our planet. When we do not have light at our houses, we become almost motionless. We cannot do anything, we cannot perform any function properly. Our life becomes stagnant. So, whatever the work is, whatever the things we are doing some garden work, we are studying, we are doing some social work, we are doing some surgeries in hospitals, we do rely on the natural or artificial light. Another very important function or impact of the light on us is actually the synthesis of the vitamin D. What actually happens is that if our skin, our bones are not healthy, it means that we do not have a good exposure of sunlight. Now, what actually happens is that in the presence of the sunlight, our body synthesizes vitamin D. And we all know that vitamin D is necessary for the absorption of calcium in our body. So, when we say no vitamin D, there would be no calcium, and the deficiency in calcium results in deformed bones, especially in kids. Also, that we all sleep at night and we wake up or do our work in the daytime. So, why is that so? We know that we are going to sleep, but we have to wake up. And when we wake up and do all our work, then again we know that we have to go to sleep at night. So, these are actually known as the innate biological rhythms or biological clocks, which are being regulated by the duration of the sunlight. Here is a diagram which is actually showing different forms of energy, which includes mainly the light energy, thermal energy, chemical energy, and electrical energy. Now, let us all just not forget about the law of thermodynamics, that is, the energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, but it can be transformed to other forms. So, again, the main source is our light energy, which is being inter transferred into other forms. Like when the light energy it comes, it is traveling, it is more like kinetic energy. But when it touches some object, it is being stored there in that object and it becomes potential energy. I would like to give you an example over here. We all know about the role of the chloroplast in plants. It's also an energy supplier, just like mitochondria. Mitochondria supplies energy in animals, and in plants, chloroplasts are the key players for the process of chemiosmosis. Now, what actually happens is that in the thylakoid lumen of the chloroplast, the sunlight energy or the light energy is being captured by the chlorophylls and it is being converted into the chemical energy, that is the adenosine triphosphate or ATP. In the last diagram, we all could see that all types of the energies they were converging into the light energy. And here in this diagram, you can see that different types of energies are actually diverging from the light energy. So it is somewhat reciprocal to the previous one. But both means the same. As I told you earlier, that all forms of energy are interconvertible. And dear students, in our these slides, we have gone through the general concepts of the light energy, its definitions, sources, uses, functions, and its impact on plants and animals, including human beings. So, in my view, if I see the light energy, I consider it the reservoir for all types of energy, and this reservoir is actually our sun, which is emitting a light for us. These sunlight rays are sign and symbol of life in our planet Earth. So we can take one hand the sun example, and on other hand we can take the simplest examples, that is of an electrical bulb and the candles. So you can see that from the maximum to minimum we have this energy, that is the light energy, which actually is enlightening our life. I hope you all got the idea of the light and the light energy in a simpler way. I have provided the references in the last slide of this presentation. You can also consult your reference books. Thank you so very much.